Okay, I'm back. All right, continuing on. Next question. What was the naughtiest thing I did as a child? Well, a ton of those. Yeah. Naughtiest things, maybe. I I did little shit things. I mean, I wasn't like a terrible kid, but I did all kinds of naughty things. Let me just start with some softball, so to speak. One thing I did when I was a little, yeah, was probably like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11, somewhere in there. Tutu and Papa. There was always cats around. There is at least a couple at all times. Besides Happy Cat, there's always some cat to mess around with. So when Tutu and Papa used to leave, they'd go, I don't know, Tutu would go to work or Papa would go run errands, whatever. If me and my friends were at the house, well, we'd always like play hide and seek. It was always really fun because Tutu and Papa's house, there's all kinds of great hiding places there. Or go outside and play. But one thing that we did, and this was pretty much because of me. I don't know if Kyle or Kevin taught me this, but I used to really like to put cats in sleeping bags, like at the very bottom, and zip the sides up so they couldn't escape. And then I would just swing. I'd swing them around like a helicopter blade. Oh man. And I do that. And we'd do it until we couldn't stop laughing. And then we'd just, we wouldn't just like throw the cat or anything, but we just, let it go on the couch, and the cat would come out and stumble everywhere because it was dizzy. Oh man. We love doing that. It's not like we did it a whole bunch, but we'd grab, there'd be a couple cats around and one of them would get it for sure. But it always made us cry laughing. It's a good laugh. I mean, it probably traumatized the shit out of the cat, but that's life for you. Get a cat. Meow meow. So that's one story. Another good one is, what have I got? Another naughty thing I did. Oh, this one, I was pretty young this time. I was like, I couldn't have been more than 6 or 7. I was really young. But I remember we were, Tutu and Papa would leave me alone with Uncle Kyle and Uncle Kevin, a decent amount, and they would give me a hard time, and, they'd wrestle me and make me cry and do all kinds of messed up shit that older brothers do. But I have this memory. We were outside, and I was in the back of a pickup truck. I don't remember whose pickup truck it was. It was probably Papa's. And I was just standing back there. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know if Kyle and Kevin were gonna take me somewhere or what, but I was standing back there, and I remember they were saying something. I think maybe one of their friends was there. I don't remember the exact circumstances, but I remember one of them egging me on, saying, no, Casey wouldn't do that. He's not tough enough, or blah, blah, blah. Like, they're challenging me, and, I was like 6 years old. I might have even been 5 years old. I was a little kid, like super little kid. I said, no, Casey wouldn't do that. He wouldn't.
Hello.
Hi. Little kid screaming. Anyways, so they were challenging me, and I think they said, no, he would never break the window, or they said something along those lines, because I think I had something in my like in my hand. I don't know if it was a pipe or a branch or whatever it was. And they're egging me on. I said, yes, I will. And then I just smashed the back of the window. I want to say I had a stick or a stone. I had something, but I smashed the back window of this pickup truck. And they were like in shock that I did that. They didn't think that I would do that. And then they started laughing. They said, oh, you're going to be in so much trouble and blah, blah, blah. Dad's going to be so angry, blah, blah, blah. You know, doing Uncle Kevin and Kyle shit. Laughing, having a good time. Probably like old Caleb and Corbin with Joshua. You know, just having a great time. Anyways, so I do remember when, I don't remember if it was Tutu or Papa that got home, but they immediately saw the window and they were like, what happened? They were angry. And I remember I was in the house and they were like talking to Kyle and Kevin. And Kyle and Kevin, you know, well, Tutu or Papa or whoever it was, you know, what happened? Who did this? Blah, blah, blah. And both Uncle Kyle and Kevin pointed at me and they said, Casey did it. We didn't do it. Casey did it. And I guess Tutu said, it's impossible that Casey did it. He's only 5 years old. He would never do something like that. And I didn't say a word. I just sat there quietly and let them get in trouble. Oh, God. That's what they get. Those old bastards. Pretty funny, though. That was good. So those were a couple of the naughty things I did when I was a little kid. There's definitely some more in there. Those are the two that stick out by far. The most. I'll talk about other stuff as I got older, but these are, you know, these videos are aimed at my little kid years, so that's what I'm trying to keep it focused on. And then we'll talk about the stupid stuff I did when I was a teenager later on. That's definitely a whole another video for sure. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed those stories. I thought they were pretty funny. I enjoyed telling them. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one, kiddo. Love you. Bye.